I appreciate you making that motion because I do believe that one of the frustrating things is we have these dueling graphs, and we really haven't had the opportunity to get down into the nitty-gritty of the difference in the projections between what staff is providing to us and then what the environmental folks are showing to us right here. And they give very different answers. And recently, I think Councilmember Spellman has been delving into some of the numbers. I've been working with the Environmental Defense Fund, EDF, as they've been rolling up their sleeves and delving into some numbers. And I think that there are some very, very valid questions here that could, for me, result in a lot of very helpful information. The question becomes, it's really a lot based on how many years of data it makes sense to use when we're doing what's called regression analysis to project these lines, because we're just trying to guess what the peak water usage is going to be in the future. And this analysis that's done, the city has used, I believe, the staff has used about 20 years worth of data. The information I got from EDF is that the informal standard in the industry is to use 5 to 10 years worth of data. And that's more akin to what we're seeing with the SOS data. If you use 10 years of data, then the projection actually would be 13% less in peak day usage, which in fact would allow us to very safely move the projections into the future. But the question becomes, is it really all about population growth? And that's part of what we're grappling with. We're saying, hey, we think we can decrease our peak usage because we have conservation. Well, there's using regression analysis, there's actually a way to measure how much of this variance in the data is being captured by your line and your projections. And if you are actually looking at the data that is 20 years worth of data, it says that really the variance in the data, in the projection and the data that we have using population, we're only capturing some of it. We're not capturing all of it. So it's actually saying we know that conservation, some other forces are at work. We know personally that it's conservation. If you go to the 10 years instead of 20 years, then it shows that population is a very minor impact on, a relatively minor impact on our peak usage. So we know that conservation is having a significant impact on the usage. I would like the time to look into this and have someone that can explain it better than me talk to folks. I think this is what making informed decisions is all about. And as Mr. Mazzaro said, 2 weeks is not that much different. I wish that I had been able to get a hold of Alan Plummer's work, who did the projections for the city, a year ago, but it didn't happen. It was just in the information that came, I guess, 2 weeks ago from staff. So for me, 2 weeks of time to study this and get a little more informed would be very, very helpful. It would make a difference. So that's why. Long-winded. I apologize for that. I know it's late, but and I am prepared to vote for 6 because that's building a road, and as Mr. Mazzaro said, we could use the road later.
Well, I plan to vote against the amendment because I really don't believe there's any chance at all that we'll be any closer to resolution of these disputed facts in question. And further, if the only reason to postpone this decision would be if you really believe that at some point in time we're not going to build this plant at all, because it's already been explained that all the items we're addressing tonight, and as a matter of fact for a few months to come, have a shelf life that would accommodate a delay. So the only reason to delay tonight would be if you think there's a chance that we will never need this plant, and I don't believe there is that chance. Councilmember Shade.